Hi, come on out to my shed. I'm going to show you all the tools I use to do my DIYs. Hi, Deidre here from Our Upcycled Life. Welcome to my shed, and I thought today was a perfect day for me to show you all of my tools that I have that I use for creating a lot of my DIYs. Nothing I have is fancy, nothing I have is expensive, and everything that I have here in my shed is simple and easy to use. So I'm going to show you some of my favorite tools that I have to create my DIYs, and maybe it'll help you along to know if you're just starting to get into the business and want to make some money doing some DIYs, or you just want to do it just for fun. Some of these tools might be something that you should look into that might make your DIY life a little bit easier. One of the first things that you're going to have to buy when you want to start doing some DIY projects is a drill. You don't need a fancy one. This is actually a fancy one. It's my husband's. He's a power sport mechanic, so he always has really good power tools. This one I snuck out to my work shed. He knows I have it, and he might get it back. Not sure. But you can find affordable ones on Amazon or Lowe's or Home Depot, and you'll need a drill. And then I also pick up a whole case full of drill bits. These are the most affordable way to buy them. You get all kinds of different sizes, and you can just pick the drill bit that you want for your project. Another tool that's really handy for crafting is a heat gun. You can get the smaller handheld ones, or you can get ones these size. I like this one because I'm doing bigger pieces. I have more area that I can cover and dry. And this is just a really affordable heat gun that I picked up on Amazon. Works perfect. Another great tool is a corner palm sander. I love this one. I use it almost every day. You can see my sandpaper on here is very well loved, and you can buy the sandpapers just to replace. You just peel them off, put a new one on, and you're ready for your next project. And you can buy these at all the different grits too. This one is a 220. This one's a 222. When I'm doing most of my rustic, really aggressive sanding projects, I'm using anything from a 60 to an 80 grit. And again, this one is from Princess Auto, I think, here in Canada, but you can find them anywhere, really priced reasonably. This is something that you'll want to pick up. Another handy tool is a staple gun. This is for if you're going to be doing some upholstery or stapling some fabric onto a DIY. You just load it up with your staples, press it down, and you got a staple in your project. And the staples come in all different gauges, different sizes, so you can buy them depending on your project that you're doing. So a staple gun. My life would not be complete without my jigsaw. Love it for cutting all of my signs and my project boards that I find. This is one that I just picked up on Amazon. It wasn't expensive. I think it was around $35, $40. You can get the blades to replace in it for whatever project you're doing, whether it's a fine tooth or the different types of wood. It'll say when you're buying your blades what you need. But a jigsaw for me is probably one of my most important tools that I have here in my shed. Another great tool that I can't live without is my square. It is so great for making straight lines, or if you want to make an arrow, I can use this. And you've got your arrow that you can then cut out with your jigsaw. You can measure. It's got all the inches and everything on it. Really handy tool. And I have actually seen these in the dollar store. Pick one up if you see one, because you'll want it in your crafting stash. Utility knives, small ones. These ones I just pick up at the dollar store. They're really handy. This one I got in a toolkit. It's a little bit more of a bigger utility knife. And my scraper. I love using it when I'm doing any chippy paint techniques. And I've seen these at the dollar store too. These at the dollar store. If you don't have any of these, this is a must-have, especially this. This is so versatile when you're doing candle wax and you want to create a chippy finish. Put the candle wax on, put the paint on top, and then you can use a scraper, scrape off the candle wax, and you're left with a chippy finish underneath. And some more. These are actually putty knives, but I use them as scrapers also. Really handy. You can see all of my tools are really well loved. I'm sloppy. I'm a sloppy crafter and painter, so everything gets covered in paint, but these work perfect, and I've had these for years. I also have a nice toolbox. This is actually a hand-me-down from my husband. He upgraded his, so I snagged this one, and it's perfect to keep all my tools in. And I have, this is just some of my tools. Most of this stuff I've just picked up at yard sales along the way, and I just kind of keep a collection of little bits and screwdrivers and pliers and hammers, and the toolbox just keeps it nice and neat and tidy. And of course you don't need anything as big as this, but this was free from my husband, so it works out perfect. And of course, one of the main tools of a DIY are paintbrushes. Sometimes just even these ones at the dollar store work fantastic. I have all kinds of different sizes. I have lots more up in my craft room too, but it's nice when you can keep them in a drawer nice and neat and tidy, and you can see what you have right in front of you. And I also have a drawer dedicated to screws and sawtooth hangers that I use on all of my signs. This is kind of a mishmash because when I take stuff apart, I always save the screws, throw them in here, and then I sort through them and I'll use them on another project. Here's another little just miscellaneous stuff. And when I'm looking for a specific size, I'll go to the hardware store and I'll buy a box of the screws that I need for that project, and then I always have them here handy for when I need them. Getting a little screwdriver set like this is really handy. I like the size of this too because it's small and it's easy for me to hang on to, but you can take the bits out and you can exchange them with the bit that you need for your project, and it's all put together in a nice little box, all the different sizes. That's something that you should look to get for your craft supplies also. Another fantastic tool that you need if you're going to be cutting a lot of wood is a chop saw. I actually have just upgraded this. I had one that was really old. It wasn't working that great anymore, so I went to the pawn shop and I found this one. Now I've had this one for a week or two and I've been using it, but I left this tag on you so I could show you guys. I picked this up at the pawn shop for $49.99 Canadian, which is a fantastic deal. It's more than half off. So if you're looking to get some tools or upgrade them and you have a local pawn shop, it's a great place to pick up tools. And this little chop saw is a perfect size for me. Another thing that I use a lot are my clamps, some small ones and some bigger ones. All of this stuff I've found at yard sales along the way. I think I might have paid $1 a piece for those bigger clamps. But they're really handy for holding your pieces of wood together after you've glued them. And so if you ever see those out and about for a good deal, grab some clamps. Another tool that I just purchased, because I've been nailing everything by hand, and sometimes it can be really tricky, especially if you're in a small little area, was I got a brad nailer, and I picked this up at the pawn shop also. It was $30 Canadian, an amazing deal, more than half off, and it will nail your projects. I just did a couple in this piece of wood just to show you. See how it nails right through? So you can put two pieces together and it's a nice and clean finishing nail on top. I'm excited to use this and save a lot of time than using a hammer and nail, trying to get those little finishing nails into my projects. And what I really love about this is it's electric. You don't need an air compressor. You can just plug it in and use it, and you can buy your brad nails at the hardware store in any size that you need for your project. One of the main questions that I get asked is about my table that I create in. And of course, it's never empty. It's never this clean. I've cleaned it up just for this purpose to show you what it's like. But I think we found it at a yard sale, my husband and I, and we think that it might have been a parts washer, a big automotive parts washer. It's got a hole right here for drainage. That's what we're thinking that it might have been. It's solid metal. It's got the legs on it, but I love the lip on it because it does contain all of my paint. And you can see this is almost like art, all these different colors of paint that I've used along the years. Now it has gotten some water in it and it has kind of rusted a little bit. I need to scrape it, but this was fantastic to find, and I think I paid like $20 for it. It's heavy as can be, but it'll last me a lifetime, and I'll have a lot of DIYs that'll be made in this steel and have been done in the past. So if you've never tried some of these power tools, don't be intimidated. All of these that I showed you today are really easy to use, and maybe you have a friend or someone that can just guide you along the first couple times that you use them to show you the proper way. Of course, I have all kinds of other things that I craft with. Also, I've got paper and paints and stamps and punches and all blah, blah, blah. My craft room is full, but today's video, I just wanted to focus on the actual tools that I use to make or create, and I hope it was helpful for you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.